hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
2.5 day weekend. How does that feel?
I'll be honest. I woke up today, I read the news, right? And I can already tell how much of a bliss this is going to be. And I was doing this weird thing.
Mikhail, it doesn't count for you and I, though.
I know it doesn't count.
It doesn't really count.
But it's just wishful thinking because you feel like if it first starts off at government places, it will have this domino effect. It's going to ripple through other institutions.
It is rippling through everywhere. My point is, Mikhail, we come to work for an hour and a half. I don't think that applies to us.
I just like to feel like I'm getting that 2 days and a half.
We have weird hours. I mean, sometimes you work over the weekend. Sometimes you're working in the middle of the night. So that absolutely does not apply to you or I or any presenter or even like TV presenter, radio presenter, or even our lovely workers right here.
Our boy Ray.
Our boy Ray. Again, it's all for those people who work for, this standard amount of time per day, and they deserve it. Yes. They absolutely deserve it, and there have been plenty of studies, especially in the past couple of months, that did show that a 4-week work week, is a lot more productive for people, especially since they have something nice to look forward to, like a 3-day weekend, or in our case, 2.5-day weekend.
But what about that Friday syndrome thing? Because, on a Friday...
It was okay, yes, I get you.
Yeah.
I remember what you're saying, that Fridays is when you completely knock out.
You just completely shut down, you oversleep, because you got nothing.
Yeah.
Friday is that day. So I feel like there's going to be this long period where employees are still trying to, break that Friday syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
So I get the feeling some employees are always going to be extra late on a Friday. And we get it. We get it.
But do you remember back when we were kids and they did the switch from Thursday, Friday to Friday, Saturday?
I was too young to remember, to be honest.
Mikhail, you and I...
I know we had this discussion.
You and I are a year apart. What are you talking about? I remember this clear as day.
I was here since 2004.
Yes.
But I don't remember
that
the
means
shifting.
You were 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I was 10. And that happened around 2007, 2008.
Tell ya, I got no memory of that. I do remember watching episodes of Johnny Bravo and Ed and Eddie on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
But changing the weekend never occurred to me at all. Grade 5, what can I say?
Grade 5, what can you say? But that means that until that happens, we do have a lot of cool things happening here in Sharjah. We're going to be talking about them later in the hour, along with some big news for things like Shang-Chi. We're getting a sequel very, very soon, apparently.
Also, there's apparently a leak for one of the soundtracks for Spider-Man No Way Home that could hint to the possibility of multiple Spideys. If you are familiar with the past soundtracks from all their Spider-Man movies, you already know what's going to happen.
Yes.
But it's a sort of an open secret at this point. We're also talking about Netflix announcing the Comedy Stand-Up Festival that's going to hit Los Angeles as of next year with some really big, prominent comedians as well. There's also Halo. It's been a great launch for this game.
Yeah.
But there has been a lot of, I would say, what's that word? Disdain for some of the progression choices made on that multiplayer. So much so that the subreddit for Halo has been temporarily shut down, and even the developers themselves had to address some of the backlash that's been taking place.
Yes, those are just some of the things we're going to be talking about here on the Afternoon Karak in the next hour from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. Hyping you guys up about exciting things. Join in the conversations. Are you excited about this new discussion? Are you excited about this whole new way of trying to live? You need to reshift so many things. Now we will be having the Monday blues.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Sunday blues anymore.
I mean, 2.5 days. Why not push it at 3? I'm just saying.
Mikhail wants to write a whole
I was just saying,
amendment.
like, working on a Wednesday
I think
coming back on a Monday. That sounds like a deal to me, right?
I think if you want to do that, maybe you want to draft up something and send it to the federal authority, or you need to work on that, Mikhail. If that's what you're thinking.
I'll send a letter to the royal office. We'll see what happens.
Please maybe consider this. But I understand. But again, baby steps and blessings do not usually come in surges, and maybe this is the first wave of those surges, right?
Yeah.
Exciting news for everybody all around here in the UAE and beyond, because the Afternoon Karak is kicking off right now from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. only here on Pulse 95.
Pulse 95. Make a cup of tea. This is Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
You're listening to Pulse 95.
All right, let's kick it off with some big Marvel news. Kicking it off with Shang-Chi. We're going to be getting a sequel, which is something that we expected, but not this early.
Yes, there's also apparently a mystery Marvel Disney Plus series in the works by the same director, Destin Daniel. Now, when we're talking about what could the series be, I think it's strictly from I would say the sub-world of Shang-Chi. So I think it's still in that
I think
that's my theory.
The show's gonna be
about
the 10 Rings.
About the 10 Rings.
The 10 Rings Foundation and Shang-Chi's sister taking over the entire foundation, basically.
The new era of the Mandarin, which would I think they already kind of hyped it up in that post-credit scene for Shang-Chi. So I think this is definitely what's going to happen. But again, I'm really glad that this is this sort of story arc is continuing, and it's going to definitely connect at least with Doctor Strange in some kind of way. People have this weird theory going around. It's like, why don't we see Shang-Chi in the new Spider-Man movie? It's like,
who knows?
That's a bit, slow down. There's already so much that's going to happen.
Listen, okay, guys, if you haven't watched Shang-Chi, we're really sorry. These are just kind of spoilers for the 2 end credit scenes / the end of the movie. I mean, he does meet Wong. They do meet Wong.
Yes.
And it's sort of a formal way of saying, there is another wizard in town. Hold on, let's go check with the Wizard Supreme and make sure that he's aware that you guys exist and those are the things to do and the things that you're not allowed to do, etc. So he is in the background. He exists. Now, will he be involved because he is, again, in the vicinity as well?
Yeah.
Is he going to be utilized in this fight? Do we have enough people utilized in this fight? That's something we're going to be finding out next week, guys. We are 10 days away from that movie coming. Actually, not less than 10 days away. But yeah, excitement all around, especially now that some people have been kind of data mining and found out that up in the upcoming Spider-Man movie, in the soundtrack, they found out that there are also some previous themes from the previous Spider-Man, namely the Sam Raimi Spider-Man OST. And people are like, so you kind of confirmed it. The thing is, it already is confirmed. It cannot get any more confirmed than this. Since 2019, we've been talking about it. It's not something surprising. But my question is now, is Shang-Chi going to appear? Is Daredevil going to appear? Are we going to see more people?
I feel like Daredevil has a more likelihood than Shang-Chi.
And also, now we know that, again, this is a spoiler. We're really sorry about that, guys, but it's been a couple of months now. Venom, cannot wait to see him appear.
Yes. Oh my God.
Very excited for this one.
So many moving parts that are going to be in this film. And just the fact that this OST leak has been confirmed, it means that that moment when the movie hits, like, you know, that song hits and you know it's coming, I tell you, I'm gonna get some goosebumps. I'm checking now because I've been looking at it online and people have been overbooking for all sorts of pre-order sales, and I'm looking at like the type of cinema that nobody goes to in Sharjah.
Oh, no. Good luck with that. I think you need to go as far as possible in the UAE, like the farthest cinema in the UAE, and you will still find it fully booked. Maybe Ras Al Khaimah?
Possibly.
Maybe go as far as Fajr. You know what? Since you can go on the weekend, go on a Friday to the maybe coast of Kalba, Khorfakan.
Does Kalba have a cinema, Joy?
Most likely, Mikhail.
I'll have to go check.
I mean, they have to have one. I mean,
it's
Kalba, it's Khorfakan. There are lots of amazing things happening. Plenty of things there. Or again, Fujairah as well. Basically as far away as possible. Not Sharjah, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. They're going to be fully booked. Same goes for Ajman. We're all too close together. Farther down, the Emirates. And maybe the randomest time ever when you know people are busy or not going to be in the cinema.
3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, why
But
not?
then again, I kind of want to be in a theater with a lot of people.
I get you.
Because if it happens,
I get you.
I just want to see. I want to hear people scream.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you. When was it? I think it was a couple of days ago. Oh yeah, when I went to watch Encanto 2 weeks ago. I went on a Friday. I tend to not go on Fridays to movies, especially during the pandemic.
Yes.
And I went to Roxy Cinema, which I thought would be kind of high end. I was like, I won't be around kids. I know it's a children's movie. I know what I signed up for. And a lot of times, children are well behaved. I've been around well behaved children in cinemas. But there's always sometimes this one random child who is too young to be there. And that's exactly what happened. They were just two kids with their nannies, God bless them. They were trying to rein them in, but they were too young to be in the cinema. And they were just running around and they're screaming and talking and yelling. And I'm like...
can I get a refund?
I kind of tuned it out, but still, like, I don't want that to happen.
I hope to God, oh my... I would be really annoyed.
I mean, even 2 days ago when I went to watch, what did we
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Sorry, guys. My memory is just incredible. If you guys have been tuning into the Afternoon Karak, you know that we've been struggling with this part of adulting, as we call it. But yeah, when I went to watch Ghostbusters, right across me, I wasn't sure if it was a woman or a teenage boy, but they were laughing. Just laughing.
Yeah.
Over anything. And it was just way too... I know you might be saying...
It was a bit distracting.
You might be saying, Aisha, it's a comedy. I get it. I know if it was hilarious, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead. And even if it was not hilarious and they found it funny, that's okay. That's what movies are for. Good for them. They're enjoying it. But no, at every single tiny joke. And it's not like, it's so loud. It was incredibly loud. And some random comments in between. So it sometimes does ruin that kind of movie magic. So that's why I prefer going to, like I said, a further cinema that I can find.
Isolated cinema.
Isolated cinema. But let's talk about Netflix coming up next. They have announced a stand-up festival with 130 comedians. Coming up next right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
Netflix is trying to diversify itself even more with a festival, a live stand-up comedy festival. You should know that Netflix is quite invested when it comes to comedy specials. They've been doing it for quite a while, even before they were heavily invested in their other TV shows and their movies, which again, that's what they're known for right now. But even back when Netflix first kicked off and became international, if you go around, you'd always find Netflix presents this sort of comedy special here and there. And they've got a whole wide variety of them. So it's so cool to see that they're going to be inviting all kinds of comics, including 130 comedians, which include names such as Kevin Hart, Amy Schumer, and John Mulaney.
Yes, there's also things like other comics such as Amy Poehler. We got Chris Rock, Conan O'Brien. My boy, I love Conan. David Letterman, and we also have Dave Chappelle. And it's going to be running from 28th of April all the way till the 8th of May. You can actually start buying tickets at the NetflixIsAJokeFest.com. If you're in Los Angeles at that time, perfect time to head down because it's like so much talent in one place. You know, you probably have a favorite comedian that you personally love. That will definitely be debuting at that event. I really, really like this. This is again Netflix really almost like spreading its cultural influence on the entertainment industry. They're more than a streaming platform now. They're a huge impact on Hollywood, and they're a huge impact on actors and movies and shows alike.
Yes, and what I love about this is that they're actually, just like you said, you mentioned Amy Poehler. They're bringing in all those well-known, amazing...
A lot of SNL comedians.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
I mean, Tina Fey is going to be there. We've got Seth Rogen, Ray Romano, those well-known, comics that we've known for such a long time. Hassan Minhaj. Jane Fonda is also going to be part of this. I'm just so excited as I look through this entire list of comedians that have been confirmed, which basically means that they might actually add a lot more people in the future, and I would love to see that. I just hope, I'm guessing, I don't need to hope really, I'm guessing that this is probably going to be streaming eventually on Netflix, perhaps a month or two later when they're done with the entire festival. But honestly, the roster is amazing, and it's smart of Netflix for them to diversify even beyond how much they've diversified so far. And again, like I said earlier, that Netflix is well known for its comedy specials. You might not have seen them. I mean, usually they advertise whatever you watch the most up on the screen, or at least the home screen. So if you dig a little bit, you'll almost always find at least 2, 3, 4, 5 comedy specials. Some of my favorite comedy specials or comics, every single one of them, I've watched them on Netflix, because before that, all we had was YouTube, to be honest, and we had to watch like short clips here and there.
You're right. I found some of my favorite comedians on YouTube, such as Louis Black, George Carlin, who else? Oh my God, Eddie Murphy. I never knew he was a comedian.
Really?
He was a stand-up comedian until I watched his 80s special called Eddie Murphy Delirious, one of the funniest specials out there.
Well,
but yeah, Netflix is a joke. Check it out. If you are going to Los Angeles anytime soon and you got an extra ticket and you want to take me, text us 4215. It's a lot to do, but you can go to the website, netflixisajokefest.com.
And the pre-sales begin today with tickets for all events going on sale on the 10th of December. Again, maybe you can book a ticket as well to Los Angeles. This is happening all the way in April. We're going to be taking a short break, and coming up next, we're going to be chatting about The Boys, the Amazon Prime breakout TV show. It's getting a 3rd season very, very soon, and also getting an animated show. Let's talk about that coming up next right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah
On Pulse 95.
The Boys, which is basically a breakout TV show for Amazon Prime. And the reason why we say this is because even though Amazon had basically a whole trunk of gold, chests of gold that they were sitting on for a long time in terms of IPs, they never really did anything until lately, kicking it off with The Boys. And now there's going to be Lord of the Rings, and there are lots of talks about some other IPs basically resurfacing from Amazon as well. But they're basically saying that, hey, let's expand the universe of The Boys, and they're going to be giving us an Animatrix-style animated spin-off with individual chapters by people such as Aquafina and Andy Samberg.
The show is called Diabolical. Now, don't confuse yourself with another The Boys spin-off that's also being under works. This one's going to be set it's set in sort of a college for young superheroes training to be heroes in society. But no, this is an anthology series where it's going to be 8 episodes. Every episode is different in terms of animation style, writing, and even the creative teams that are involved. One of the people involved are Aquafina. We have Andy Samberg, Seth Rogen, and Evan Goldberg. It seems like each of them are going to have their own creative take to tell their own personal fanfic in the world of The Boys.
I mean, that's really cool because it's basically also riding on this whole popularity of animated TV shows where every single episode is different and it's its own contained story within a certain universe. We've had that lately with Star Wars, for example.
Star Wars Visions.
Exactly. There's another one on Netflix as well. Basically, it's
Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes, and it's just a cool concept. It's cool because one, we get a whole diverse range of stories that exist within that universe without really getting involved with the mainstream timeline. Maybe that kind of messes it up too much. Also gives them the whole creative liberty to do all kinds of things. And in addition, it introduces all kinds of people to all kinds of new things. And it's just a whole cool, again, I can't stress how fun it is, especially now that if I'm trying to think, it was also Cartoon Network. They're doing something similar where they're trying to fund all kinds of developers to have their own mini projects, sort of a creator's fund, so they can show their animated styles and animations and basically introduce them to us. And again, this is a way for having all kinds of let's call them unconventional or quote unquote weird sorts of animation more mainstream, so we can get a whole diverse number of ways to enjoy animation.
I love this new approach with the anthology series. It's an opportunity to take an established franchise and just take it out for a wild ride. Diabolical is coming up sometime in 2022. They've announced that they're really close to wrapping up these 8 episodes. But while we're waiting for season 3 of The Boys, definitely going to check this out when it comes out on Amazon Prime.
Yes, we're going to be taking a short break. More fun and more things to talk about, hyping you guys up about stuff happening in Sharjah later on in the hours. Also, the Game Awards. You can attend it through the metaverse, apparently. Going to be talking about the Halo subreddit and the entire conundrum and controversy behind it, and basically the toxicity of people on the internet.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atia.
On Pulse 95.
So we already know, we've established this a long time ago, many, many years ago, since the dawn of the internet, that the internet is a very toxic place. There is actually things and like papers, like actual studied papers from basically they were looking at the internet back in the 90s, literally in the 90s, when it was just starting. And people were toxic all the way back then. So it's not surprising to see that the Halo subreddit had to be turned off. Basically what they had to do, the moderators, had to lock everybody out of it, where nobody can post or comment, upvote, downvote, do nothing, simply because they've been quite toxic and problematic. And they basically said that both people from both sides were being just quote-unquote very trash. So
give you a little bit of context as to why this has been happening. It seems like in the limelight, just in the front of everything, media has been praising Halo Infinite. The campaign it will be released tomorrow. Reviews are pretty good. However, as we got the beta pretty early for the past 2 weeks, people noticed one thing about it. First off, we all know that Halo Infinite is free to play, but there's something about its the experience progression in the game that comes off as very grindy and not really user friendly. So what's happening here is that, like regular games, you play a match, you get XP for winning, losing, and all these special challenges that you complete. But in this game, you can only get XP by completing challenges, and that really irritates people, because it's like, I don't want to jump into the game and have challenges dictate my experience, that I just have to play this one particular game mode. And it affects also team play. And so much so, I'm personally irritated by it myself, but I'm not going to the extent that some people are going through. Through the subreddit, one of the mods has said that some users on the sub have been responsible for doxing and death threats, and we had to temporarily put the sub on a lockdown, and we'll be seeing you guys very soon on Monday. And one of them also said that it's just, despite the, I would say, the backlash from users and players, this amount of rage and toxicity is completely unwarranted, because at the end of the day, guys, it's just a game. And even 343, the developers behind the game, have addressed and have acknowledged that yes, there definitely seems to be an issue with this progression system, and we're trying our best to fix it, and just to make sure that millions of players out there can have a good time.
But the thing is, this entire thing, it's both ways, in the sense that apparently the Halo subreddit has always been toxic. And then when Brian Gerard, the 343's community director, when he posted that, people just went haywire. And he was just asking for a civil conversation, as were the mods. And what do you expect from the internet? What do you expect from video gamers? I mean, the amount of times people had to dispute that. No, gamers and people on the internet are not that bad. There are so many good things that they do, and then there are those very toxic people, trolls, that just ruin the experience for every single person. And like you said, doxing, death threats, and also a lot of people were worried for example, on Twitter, who were having these discussions. They're like, now you just ruin it for everybody, because you basically shunned all the developers, because they don't want to listen to us anymore, because you guys cannot have a proper conversation. You cannot ask for things with constructive criticism. You guys are just bashing and trying to get them killed. Goodness, what on earth is that?
It's a bit too much, guys. And as one meme video said, why so mad? It's just a game.
It's just a game. as important that game is perhaps to your life, and all video gamers, these gamers all around the world can always attest to one video game or maybe a handful that changed their life or maybe make them very happy, etc., that have an impact on their lives. We're not saying that it's just a game, but at the end of the day, it literally is just a game. Calm down and just be nice to those people, because behind the games are actual real people. Even if they were robots, be nice to the robots as well, regardless of who created these. Be nice to them. Are they not human? What on earth is happening, honestly?
Guys, take it easy. I know 343 is doing everything they can to resolve this, and we can do things. We can react to things more civilly. We don't have to go overboard, because then it just ruins the experience for everybody.
Speaking about experiences, let's talk about the Game Awards that are happening quite soon. But if you want to attend them and you cannot attend them, apparently, you can do that through the metaverse. Basically, it feels like Free Guy, but Free Guy in real life. Coming up next right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
Mikhail, do you remember IMVU?
INVU? IMVU. No, I don't know.
It was sort of like, it was around like the early 2000s, and everybody was on the internet, obviously, trying to explore and whatnot. And there was this thing that was similar to MSN Messenger. But then you get actual avatars, and you move around, and you dress them up, and you go to places, and you chat with people. And, looking back, I think that I should not have been on that website, because I was a child. And what is a child doing there? I was not supposed to be there. And I know a lot of people have tried it out and had used it all the way back then. And that is exactly the vibe I'm getting from Metaverse, or Meta, or previously known as Facebook, as they venture out into some very interesting kinds of experiences, user experiences.
Yeah.
And now we're getting something called the Metaverse. And basically, if you want to attend the Game Awards, you can kind of do that through your avatar, as in literally be on the red carpet and whatnot through an avatar.
So basically, knowing that Game Awards is coming out in 2 days, 9th of December, viewers can actually check out the Metaverse experience built with the creation tool Core. Now, obviously, weirdly enough, besides being in the Core and watching the event, there will be a red carpet event for it as well. And even you can do some unique interactive experiences that are available during the broadcast. And there's even an after party with currently an unnamed DJ. I'm like, well, they're going all out on that virtual experience.
It seems like, do you remember all those sci-fi movies we used to watch when we were young? Again, we were not supposed to be watching those movies. But my point is, all these sci-fi scenarios, something from Black Mirror and whatnot, about how the future, you can sit at home and you'd have your VR goggles on, you'd be experiencing everything similar to Free Guy, etc. and all that.
Yeah.
Apparently this is happening much faster than we thought it would. It's not happening in 2121. It's gonna be happening in 2021. It's very interesting. I know I sound like somebody who loves all kinds of new technologies. I am not into this idea.
This one rubs you off the wrong way.
Do you know, I think I mentioned this before, do you know Douglas Adams, the writer behind The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? And
I know the story, but not the author.
There is a quote, and I don't remember if it was from him or from the book itself, and I love using it against everybody, but now I'm going to be using it against me. But basically it says, if a technology is introduced to you between the ages, when you're a child, it is just part of your life. If it's between teenage years and young adult life, it is a new experience. And then anything after that, it's like, what is this? What is you're creating everything? You're being weird, and this is wrong. This is not correct. I'm leaning towards that now.
We're becoming the cranky grannies.
They know we're becoming that. Honestly, good for them if you guys are enjoying it. But for me, I'm not that interested.
I'm not ready. I'm not too ready to do it myself.
Yeah. I mean,
remember when Fortnite kind of did it. Yeah, you could watch the events on a screen in the game.
Let's be honest, IMVU kicked it off, guys. IMVU back in the early 2000s.
Is that still running or no?
I do not think it's still running. If it is, it's somewhat.
It's probably running, but for like underground.
For like
groups
5
or
people,
something like
maybe.
that.
You know how Roblox is? Kind of that, but it's more like real human people.
Oh, so like Second Life.
Kind of like Second Life,
But
yes.
creepier.
To an extent.
I see. I like how you kind of like your eyes went for a moment
I
and
had
came
to
back.
pause. I had to pause.
Like you were tapping into some
Exactly.
dark memory and you came back.
because I need to tell you this during the break. It's not that creepy, but I just had some weird interactions there. But there's one that I can never forget, and it's from a girl from Ajman. Imagine this: you are in this worldwide, global kind of website,
Yeah.
and you find somebody from Ajman, and I was like, yo, UAE, really, Ajman, next
That's
to me,
crazy.
right next to me. It was so random. Nothing. It was just weird. It wasn't creepy, guys, but we're gonna be talking about it afterwards. Michaela and I. What do you guys think? Will you guys be attending this on the metaverse, or is it gonna be just just usual viewings
Also,
on YouTube and Twitch?
Predictions for the Game Awards. What do you think is going to be Game of the Year? For me,
Takes Two.
It Takes Two for Aisha.
I
For
hope
me,
so.
it's Resident Evil 8.
For me, it's honestly, I think it's gonna be Deathloop.
Okay.
Definitely, but this is me being wishful thinking.
Honestly,
and
why
saying-
not? I think Takes Two needs the W since the recent L they got. So.
Honestly, it's not an L because it's gonna be a big fight. It's EA versus Take Two Interactive, and it's gonna be a big long fight that we're gonna be looking forward to cover later on. And let's talk about Tom Cruise and him being Tom Cruise, and also our usual conspiracy theory, guys.
Uh-oh.
Is Tom Cruise a true agent, a secret agent? And are those creepy and crazy stunts that he's been doing, are they actually just him training to be a better super spy? Let's talk about that coming up next right here on the Afternoon Karak.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
You know what? This is too happy. This is too happy.
You want to go a little dark. You want to go serious.
We need to go a little dark. Just a second, okay?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the story is, as usual, Tom Cruise is hanging from a plane upside down in a new Mission Impossible 8 set image. And you might be thinking, Aisha, why are you playing the X-Files theme? What are you and Mikhail on? Well, for the past couple of months, we have come to the conclusion that we've created a whole conspiracy theory. And I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think it's true. And I've shared it with lots of people, and they're like, Aisha, we think you have a point there. It's valid points. And that is, he's just doing too much. He's being a little bit too extra. I'm not saying that he's not in his prime anymore, but he's in his 50s, which is amazing, I can barely walk without feeling, without my knees creaking and just everything aching. So it's amazing what he's doing at the age that he is. But then, is it necessary that he's hanging from a plane?
I don't know about that, to be honest. Matter of fact, I was actually looking into it. He has actually trained to learn how to fly a Boeing Stearman biplane earlier this year for this movie. And the question is, did he actually learn it this year or many years ago?
Or many years ago.
When he was a secret agent already.
Exactly. So that is our theory, that Tom Cruise is actually a super spy or some sort of secret agent. And he is just, the whole him being an actor is just a front. And maybe all those Mission Impossible movies are just him practicing.
Or they're inspired by his past.
That as well.
That
as well.
Experiences as a secret spy.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Has Tom Cruise been involved in any movie that wasn't an action movie lately?
No.
No.
Just high intensity.
And also only Mission Impossible movies. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yep, it's certainly sus. This guy can run a track field. He knows how to fly a helicopter, now a Boeing Stearman biplane. He's climbed up the tallest building in the world. I'm just saying, I feel like he's done all of this before.
He has. It's
and
just,
he kind of looks like a natural.
It just seems a little Sus,
A little
guys.
sus.
A little sus. We don't believe it. We cannot believe this is
Well, we
happening.
gotta cruise out of the conspiracy zone.
Yes, and jump into some Sharjah things. Sharjah is filled with activities this weekend, so make sure you're tuning in and staying locked to Pulse 95 to find out exactly what they are.
Make a hot cuppa and relax. It's Afternoon Karak with Aisha Al-Mazmi and Mikhail Atiyah.
On Pulse 95.
Lots of things are happening over the weekend here in Sharjah, kicking it off on the 9th of December with Focal Point 2021, sort of a gathering of artists and people all around the world, basically the entire MENA region, South Asia and whatnot. All of them here in Sharjah at the Sharjah Art Foundation, basically talking and sharing all the things they've been doing. There's lots of talks, there's lots of zines as well to buy, including my friends' zines they've been selling. They're going to be selling them over there, so go check out my friends, guys. They're amazing local artists here in the UAE of all kinds of nationalities, and Sharjah Art Foundation loves to platform and highlight their work. And Focal Point, which is something that recurs every single year, is just one of those important art celebrations, and I think every single person should be down at Beit Abeid al-Shamsi. Let me say it in my non-Emirati accent. Beit Abeid or Obeid al-Shamsi, and you can find them there hanging out from the 9th, 10th, all the way till the 11th of December.
Awesome. Free admissions, of course, and all you gotta do is just gotta go register for booking at sharjahart.org. Also, coming up later this weekend, if you got no plans for the weekend, well, good for you, because the Majaz Amphitheater is going to be holding its first edition of the See Sharjah. This is a Sharjah festival event that's going to take place Friday, Saturday. We're going to be there because there's tons of things, everything from workshops to shows, a raffle draw, competitions, sports, art, and craft, and you gotta come because it's free.
Yes, and again, you're gonna meet me and Omar Al-Duri and also Mikhail along with Anna Schofield on Friday, and on Saturday you can find entertainment for children, for families, carnivals, parades, music, games, and amusement shows, and of course, there's gonna be food around. It's in Majaz. There's plenty of things to do, so make sure you're heading down to Sharjah, or at least writing up Sharjah as your next destination over the weekend to be hanging out and just having fun times with your friends and family, your neighbors, whoever you want to bring, your enemies. Anybody's welcome here in Sharjah to see Sharjah, and also down at Focal Point. And with that, we wrap up here on the Afternoon Karak, and we've got Anna Schofield and Big House taking over the airwaves here in Sharjah from 5 p.m. all the way till 8 p.m. only here on Pulse 95.
If you liked this episode of Afternoon Karak, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.